Hello, hello. We are live. Hi, everyone. I'm going to go ahead and introduce myself while I'm waiting for some people to log in. Okay, great. I see you guys here. I am Catherine Lawrence. I am a certified professional organizer, and I have been organizing. I've had a home organizing business since 2002, so almost 20 years here. And over that time, I've had employees, I've built a business, I've trained many professional organizers, which I do now as well. And I've done a little bit of everything in the organizing world. I've worked quite a bit with extreme clutter. I am a certified KonMari consultant. I am currently working for Hoarders, the TV show, as a support organizer. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that coming up because the new season is starting very soon. So I'll talk about that a little bit as people join here today. And I've helped people move. I've helped seniors downsize. I've done quite a bit in the organizing profession. And one thing I absolutely love to do is answer questions about working as a professional organizer, what it means to be an organizer, and how that works as a business. I'm sure many of you guys have helped a friend organize, or certainly a family member, and you've gone to their house and maybe helped them buy organizing products, or helped them tote some stuff out to a thrift store, and helped them go through their things. And so this is really about taking those same skills and turning it into a paid business. So this is your full-time income. This is what you're using to pay the mortgage and the car payments, and put the school, kids through school and all that good stuff. So we're talking about a skill that we have, and also a profitable business. So turning really that hobby into something that you can do for a living. Oh my goodness. So Aurora has chimed in here. Okay, you're going in 30 minutes to your first client. Oh my goodness. This is wild. Well, first of all, congratulations on your first client. That's amazing. So, and I've talked about this before. I'm a proponent of doing a bit of a consultation before we jump right into the organizing. So if this is your very first visit with your first client, I would absolutely take a deep breath. I would walk in, I would get a home tour. We need to do the home tour, because if we just walk into a closet and we start organizing their coats and hats and all of those things, we don't really know that maybe they have coats and hats in the attic and in the basement and the garage. So we really want to go category by category when we do our hands-on and project organizing. So, okay, yes, it's an estimate. So estimates are tricky, you guys, and those of you all who are in my coaching program know that I'm not really a fan of estimates. I'm a fan of getting in there and kind of giving them the nuts and bolts of what it would take to get organized. So I would essentially treat it as you're going to organize them on paper. So you're going to go in, you're going to do the home tour. Hopefully you've spoken to them by phone, so you know a little bit about what's going on, and you can find out, I like to look at how can I maximize space? How can I reduce clutter? How can we improve storage? And so you're going in there kind of hitting those high notes. And then you're also, a big piece of it is prioritizing and helping them, because, we go into these homes, and I don't know how big or complicated this space is, but many places that I go into are I mean, there's a lot of clutter. There's garages, there's multiple basements, there's, kids stuff, maybe there's grandma's stuff, there's generational stuff. So we really need to help our clients prioritize what we are going to tackle first. So that's going to be, Aurora, a big part of that first appointment, because we don't want to go in and be completely overwhelmed. We want to say, kind of talk to them about, okay, let's decide, is the kitchen the most important thing, or is it their bedroom? What's their biggest pain points? What do they need to get into? So a big thing is, we can't just walk in there in an hour and, just organize everything. You have to sort of start somewhere. And so that's something I do like to find out during the first appointment, if we haven't already figured it out on the phone ahead of time, is where are we actually starting? What's that primary goal? Do they want to entertain? Do they want to be able to cook a healthy meal? Do they want to sleep better at night? And, we need to clear the clutter in the bedroom. So I would love if you left that appointment knowing like where you are going to have your first project session. And then you're going to be really prepared, and then you're going to go in and charge them for, a full project, and you're going to do the walk-in closet, or you're going to work in the kids' playroom. But, figure out that priority, and then you're prepared for when you show up for that first project. So good luck with all that. Hi, everybody. I see a couple of people joining here. Let me know what's going on. Where are you with are you having a challenge with a client? Are you taking your first client? Are you thinking about being an organizer and haven't started yet? I'm going to give you guys some updates on myself, because if you have been following my channel, you may have noticed I have not really posted a lot in the last 30 days. And so I've had a really big change in my life, a little bit of sad news. My mother, who has battled cancer for, a good year and a half, and we knew her time was limited. And we were really fortunate to get that much time with her. But she did pass away last month, and my mom lived right up the road from me. I saw her every day. She was a really big part of my life. We both live on this sort of family farm that's been in my family for almost, I would say, 80 to 90 years. So kind of getting up there. And I bring it up to you guys, one, to just sort of explain, I've been a little, absent the last month as far as on social media and that type of thing. But also, I am dealing with a lot of the same things that many of my clients deal with when they are downsizing an estate. I've got really 3 generations of belongings in this home that is now my responsibility to maintain and take care of. I do plan on keeping the family home. It is a really interesting space. And I think what I'm going to be doing the next probably 3 months is actually taking you guys a little bit on the journey with me with clearing out this house. There are barns that are hoarded. There are closets that are stuffed. There are, all the things that I'm typically dealing with my clients, in addition to multiple family members and who wants what, which always makes an estate really complicated, and dealing with the antiques and the vintage items and what to sell and what to donate and all of that. So I think what I'm going to do is actually post on Instagram, like while I'm working there, just doing some quick stories on Instagram. So you guys can kind of follow a little bit in the journey of downsizing. And if you've been on my channel, I talk a lot about downsizing. I, of course, work with Hoarders on Hoarders TV. And so I'm personally dealing with a lot of that stuff now with this family estate that I will be clearing out. of course, as well as working my regular jobs. So if you're interested in following a little more of like a personal journey of clearing out a family estate and what that involves after someone passes away, I will be touching in or checking in, I think on Instagram with that. So I can just do some really quick little videos. I probably will do a video on this channel about grieving and downsizing after a family member passes away, because it's a lot. And I think one of the reasons it gets really complicated is that you all of a sudden have all of these other things you have to deal with, other people's paperwork, photos, personal belongings, all of these things. And what I've noticed, and what I've noticed in my clients previously, is at your own home, your laundry starts to pile up a little bit. Maybe your kitchen isn't as clean as it used to be. Maybe you're not, it's taking a few days to get to paperwork that you would normally be on top of every single day. So I definitely feel that kind of cascade of stressfulness with dealing with someone else's belongings as well as my own. So there you go. Sorry to lay that on you guys, but I just want to let you know why I haven't been completely that active on YouTube, but I'm not going anywhere. I'm still here, just adding a lot more to my plate. So we are here today to answer questions about working as a professional organizer. And when you come in, you can put those questions in the comments. I have a few questions that I've been emailed recently. One is about hiring contractors, hiring people to help you on the job. And another is how to help a client downsize before they move. So those are two things I'll be talking about, but feel free to hop in on our comments here and ask me what you want to know about working in the professional organizing industry. I have a couple more announcements too. As you guys know, I work on Hoarders TV as a Hoarders TV show as a support organizer. Episodes are going to start airing, I think, like October 18th. So in about 2 weeks, I'll have some episodes out there. I know there's a couple of episodes I worked on where you probably won't see me. I'll just be sort of background. But there's a couple of episodes you may see me on camera, maybe even speaking a little bit more than I normally do. So check back on my channel for just kind of some follow-ups on those episodes and some tips, because the thing, and I don't know how you guys feel about this. Oh, thank you so much, Golden. Yep, I know, right? It's just something that eventually gets to all of us. So thank you for that. Yeah, so on Hoarders, I don't know how you guys feel about this, and let me know in the comments. I would really love the Hoarders TV show to have more like practical advice for those of us, one, who work in the industry and want to get into more extreme clutter, and also for family members of hoarders. So yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about that, because I just wish there was a little more practical advice. When I watch the shows, I go, we were using that strategy, or, oh, that technique really worked well with that family member, or, oh, that really worked well with the hoarder, or that didn't work very well. I love that stuff. And I would imagine many of you guys who are thinking about working as professional organizers or are currently working as professional organizers would benefit from some of those tips of how things are actually done. So let me know if that's something you guys think about. It's something I think about a lot, but I'm curious if anyone else shares my opinion on that. And so that actually sparked me to do something, which is to create a course on how to clean out extremely hoarded homes. And so the course is ready. If you're on my email list, I'll be emailing you guys probably next week or two with links to the course. But let me pop the link in here if you guys are interested. And this course really serves two purposes. Let me get back to my other screen here. Yeah, so the course serves two purposes. One, if you are a professional organizer and you want to work with people who have more of an extreme issue with clutter, or are family members who are clearing out a hoarded home of a family member, or helping someone out, it's really a lot of practical clean out advice, because often in these lives or people will email me and they'll say, hey, I'm working in a house that's so cluttered, I can't even, it's not like I can just go room to room and grab up categories. Like, things are really sort of packed in there. So with cases of extreme clutter, we actually have to approach it a little bit differently than we would a typical organizing job, or someone, a household that has moderate clutter or light clutter. So it's a little different. So I hope you guys will join me for that course. And if anyone's watching this video and has a family member or a friend who has hoarded or has extreme clutter in their home and you want to help them, it's also for that population as well. Okay, so Laura has a question here. I always wonder how they're going to maintain the order because they don't show how they create it for the person. Yeah, there's, as professional organizers, we work a lot with developing really good judgment with our clients, or that's certainly something that I'm working with my client, with making better decisions and also confronting stuff. Because if you guys know Barbara Hemphill, she's sort of one of the godmother or grandmothers of organizing. She's retired now, but very much a veteran and pioneer in our field. And she always said clutter is postponed decisions. And so that is one thing that gets people in a bit of trouble with clutter, is that they're going through and they go, I can't deal with that. I'm going to set it aside. I'm going to set it aside. I'm going to set it aside. But they're also kind of bringing things in. And so there just becomes this there's an imbalance between either purchasing or picking items up and not making any kind of decision about where they're going to be placed, how they're going to be used, if they are even needed in the home. And that's when we see that extreme clutter, because there's just a real imbalance in kind of what's going on in the space. So absolutely, one thing we should be doing as professional organizers is helping people make better decisions and guide them through the decision-making process so that it doesn't happen again and that they can find a little bit of balance. So, I don't know. The clean-out process is only 4 days on the Hoarders TV show. The clean-out expert, like a Matt Paxton or Corey Chalmers, they do have an extra day with the hoarder, and then the psychologist, like a Dr. Tolan or Robin Zazio, Dr. Zazio, they come in an additional day as well. So the hoarder will normally have maybe 6 days with a team of experts. And, hopefully there's a lot of lessons being taught in that time. And then there's the aftercare program. So they are encouraged to seek counseling, after the show ends. But really, I think they need to keep working with an organizer or someone who can come in the home and look at the surroundings and help them make those better decisions. So otherwise, I don't think they really have much of a chance of maintaining the space, because it's really about making those good choices. And, you can clear out a space. And if any of you guys have ever cleared out an extremely cluttered space for a friend, family member, or even a client, and then you go back a month later and it's you can see it starting to fill up again. It's very frustrating, of course. Those life skills really haven't come to fruition in that person's mind. Like they haven't adopted the behavior that will help the clutter not pile up. So, it's a bit of a balance with a clear out, but also that behavioral change. And so, yeah, I hope some of the folks that I've worked with on the show, I hope that they are successful afterwards. But yeah, if I would love A&E or Netflix to do more programming kind of after the fact, because I would love to speak with some of these people later for sure. Okay, so as you guys are coming on, feel free to ask questions in the comments about working as a professional organizer. I'm going to go into a couple of questions that I've gotten emailed to me fairly recently. One is about helping a client downsize before a move. And so this decluttering service is a little bit different than what I call maintenance work with a client, where you have a client and you may go back and see them on a regular basis to help them like tidy up their closets or do like a seasonal switch out or help them, maintain order with their paperwork. But the declutter, and actually let me type this question in to the comments and then I can put it up so people can see what I'm talking about here. How do you help a client downsize before a move? Yeah, so downsizing before a move first of all, if you are looking to pick up organizing clients, this is a really, really amazing service that you can offer in your community. There are corporations that hire professional organizers, or at least companies that hire professional organizers, like a company called Home Sweet Home that contracts a lot with professional organizers. They are motivated when they are doing a corporate move to help people downsize before the move because they don't want to pay all the moving expenses, right? So let's say you work for a company and the company wants to move you and they're going to pay for that move, but you have a 3-car garage that's full, an attic, 4 bedrooms, some pool tables, and whatever else in your home. So there are companies out there who actually say, let's hire an organizer first to help them downsize before the move so we don't have to pay for the movers to haul, to move these things from house to house. So, and then if you're just working with a private client too, same thing. Why would they want to pay to move all the clutter? So there is a big motivating factor when people want to move and they don't want to take the clutter. So it's a great time for a professional organizer to come in and offer to help. So, it's a little different, as I said, between your maintenance work because they might be kind of in a hurry. I mean, I've had clients call me, 2 weeks, 30 days before the movers are coming. So we don't really have a lot of time to go through every single item in their home. So usually there's a compressed timeline when we're helping someone downsize before a move. And then there's the financial consideration of not paying to move the clutter. So what I typically do in those situations is just a little bit of a modification on what I typically do. But I'm going to come in, I'm going to do a consultation, I'm going to do a walkthrough, but I'm really trying to identify categories of things that they don't need to move with them, or very large items that they want to downsize before they move. So I'm really going room by room, focused in on what can we quickly and easily declutter. So that may be, exercise equipment, If someone's downsizing, maybe they don't need the lawnmower anymore, or that whole garage filled with garden tools. So it's a little more consultative initially, and I'm going through and identifying those big categories of things that they don't need to move with them. Maybe this is the time to get the shredding company in and, shred all that paperwork that's, old, outdated, and not useful. So great service, consultation to downsize, declutter before a move. And then if there's time, follow that up with a couple of sessions that focus specifically on bigger categories that they know they want to downsize. Paperwork, clothing, that garage with the lawn equipment that they may not need. Or I'll tell you, a big one is maybe their kids are grown and they raise their children in that home, and you've got all the baby stuff and their toddler toys, and they really haven't been decluttering all those years, and now their kids are 16 or 18, or maybe they're even in their 20s, but they have 50 boxes of sort of childhood things in the home. So that would be a situation of identifying a category that really has some opportunity to be downsized before the move, and just hone in on that, and then book as many sessions you can to actually, complete that category. And then everyone will be in much better shape. You'll be moving with fewer things. It'll be less expensive to move, and they're going to feel a lot lighter. And then they don't have to unpack all that stuff when they get to the other home. So, that's a real win-win. Let's see here. Golden says, I like to help people identify the reasons the clutter was created and develop systems to keep it from coming back. But systems must be realistic for the client's lifestyle. Forcing change rarely works. Yeah, and I would say to you guys who are getting into organizing, a real complaint that I hear from people who maybe leave this industry after a year or 2 years is they're really frustrated with their clients not changing their behavior. But guess what? We cannot force people to change, right? Don't bother. Don't try it. It's too hard. We're not really going to, you can't force people to change, and it's not within our power to, make that happen. However, Golden makes a good point here, and I would absolutely encourage all of you guys to put this into your strategy with your clients. I do also like to help them identify what the problem is. So potentially the behavior is they just shop too much. They buy too many things. They don't have places to put them. And the thrill is more in the shopping than the actual using. Another common one is people are creative types who I absolutely love creative people. But maybe you've bought too many crafting, sewing, painting supplies, and now you actually don't have the room or time to use them. And so what do we do with those unfinished projects or the supplies that we've purchased, which are not cheap, but actually can't be used because now you don't have space or time to actually paint that portrait or whatever the intention was. So I do think as organizers, and that's one thing that really sets us apart from just straight out cleaning companies, or maybe a friend who's just going to come over and haul things away. I do actually think it's the job of the organizer to help our clients understand the underlying cause of the clutter. And so, we can incorporate that into our phone consultations, our in-person consultations, or during any of our project sessions. We can address that and see where it goes. You may have clients that are too busy to really put things away, and that's more of like a lack of time. And maybe they want to just hire you to kind of keep up with things, and then you need to sort of decide if that's how you want to offer your services. But I do think we should at least make them aware in a gentle, non-judgmental way of what is causing the clutter, because often we can see it. One, we're organizers, so once you're doing this for a while, you've seen the same situation in many, many, many homes. So, we come in as the organizers and we can see it immediately, the problem, but that our client's only in their home and they're just maybe not aware of what is actually causing the lack of organization or the disorder. So, let them know what it is. Tell them you are here to help and support them and see, where that journey goes. Let's see. I want to say Amy, but there's two N's. Anyway, hello. What are the legal steps that an organizer needs to do before you start a business? Excellent question. Because, as professional organizers, one thing that sets us apart from just having a buddy come over or a cousin to, help organizing declutter is that we are actually operating a business. And most of us need to have our own businesses because unfortunately there's not a lot of employment opportunities for organizers. The home edit ladies I think are changing that, and some of these bigger companies that are coming in and hiring teams of organizers, employees to do the work. But honestly, for most of us, we have to start our own business because those opportunities are just not available, or there's not a lot of them. So I'd say at this point, still the majority of organizers are creating their own businesses. One thing I would absolutely recommend is connecting with a business mentor. And I'm going to type this into our comments, score.org. Score is a... that link looks kind of funny, but I think that's right. Score.org. So Score has business mentors and it's free, and there's a national network, so you should be able to find a mentor. And, I'll just tell you guys what I have. I do have an LLC for my organizing business, and I had a local attorney help me set that up. And then I also worked with my accountant to make sure I had all the parts and pieces in place to pay my taxes, right? So you're going to want to have that EIN number, and you're going to want to keep track of your income and expenses. So, if you're really, really just getting started you've never had a business before and you're just trying to dip a toe in, I'd probably connect with a mentor. Score is an option. And I've heard from a few of my coaching students that in their local community at their small business development office in their city or county, that they actually have someone there to help you get off the ground with starting your business. And I will tell you guys too, in my it's in my Essential Forms course. Some of you guys may already have that, and I think in the description of this course, I put the bundle, but let me give you a link also just to the Essential Forms course with the coupon. Let me put that in here. But I bring that up because in that course, sorry, that's kind of a long link because it has the coupon in it. I have something called a business discovery guide, and that is going to be sort of all the questions and things you should be prepared to talk about with your accountant, with your lawyer, and with your local government, and with your insurance agent. So those are kind of the four, advisors that you'll want to have. You don't have to create an LLC to work as a professional organizer. That's just one option. And it's really based on your personal financial situation and what type of risk you're going to be taking on. So you absolutely, want to talk to your accountant, also your lawyer, about what structure works best for you. And most of the folks that I'm coaching, we're usually able to make your business legit when you actually go through and, set up your bank account and do all of that. Many people have been able to do that in under 6 weeks. So, when you're ready to to make that leap. It's just a matter of getting those parts and pieces in order. And I know it can be a little scary if you've never run a business before, but it actually is, it tends to be very straightforward once you talk to these advisors and they kind of tell you how you should have your business structured. A lot depends on if you're going to have employees, what other, what things you're going to do in your business. Are you going to build closets, or are you just going to consult with your clients? So, there's a lot of kind of parts and pieces to get into with that. Okay, Laura, what country are you in? You have to tell me. So you are somewhere with some small spaces, and people tend to have lots of stuff because you never know. Yep. Where do I find solutions for small spaces, and can I specialize in that? Well, I think you absolutely could specialize in that. And if you were to specialize in small spaces, I would absolutely set up your Instagram and your website and your whole brand to really focus on that. Because I would say there's sort of two parts to organizing small spaces. One is ensuring that your clients do not have too much stuff, right? You have to be more of a minimalist if you have a 1-bedroom apartment versus a 5-bedroom home, right? I mean, that's just physics. There's only so much you can fit into a small space. So one, I think, I almost said counseling, but that's not the right word. Advising your clients on what to keep, how to live and function in those smaller spaces. So one is a bit of a mindset. Two is you really, really, really need to focus on space maximizing products. So I'll give you an example. If I'm working with a client in a small space and they have a coffee table, and it just has 4 legs and a top, I'll go, no. You need a coffee table with storage in it. You need to be able to open that up. That also needs to be your linen closet because you're storing your blankets in there. It needs to be where you store all your entertainment. Maybe that's where you keep board games or any type of, entertainment that, like food trays or something. Everything in a small space has to have dual purpose and functionality. So I would kind of set your business up around that type of product. In fact, I was just answering a comment on my YouTube channel before I hopped on here, and it's a question I've gotten before, which is you have a galley kitchen and no workspace. So once you put the microwave or the toaster oven or the blender on that counter, you don't have any room to work. Well, obviously this is a common issue in a small space. So one thing I recommend quite a bit, and I put in this comment, was to get a rolling cart with like a butcher block work surface. So that is something you can roll in. You've increased your workspace because you can use that to chop and prep, or put your mixing bowl on, and then you also have storage. So everything in a small space, really, really, really a big concentration on storage, and that everything's doing double duty. Like that coffee table has to also store board games. It can't just. So yeah, this is a whole specialty for you, and I would really set up your branding to showcase that. When we're also talking about storage in a small space, we need to use that vertical space. So you need really good closet design, and you may need a lot of floating shelves or hanging, bookcases. We can't just have flat wall space like we can in, a 5-bedroom home where you have, lots of closets and built-in bookcases. No, in a small space, every inch has to be working. And so so that's kind of a big part of it. And you absolutely could do consultations on maximizing space in a small space. I guess I wouldn't say it like that, but maximizing storage in a small space. So you could offer consultations and charge a rate just to go into people's homes and design storage solutions for small spaces. There you go. That's your business. Okay, yes, Colombia. Wonderful. Yes. I would try that out. I would try to do consultations specifically on that piece. And then yes, transportation. Gosh, I will say your area must be completely different than mine because I'm in a little more like rural area, and I service a lot of suburban clients. So, the driving, the parking is not a problem. And I've often thought, like, what if I moved to New York? How would I carry my organizing products and my stuff, my tools? And so I would seriously have to rethink what I do and how I do it if the transportation were a little bit different. So, and I'll tell you, with my car, I do some light hauling to charity shops. So if my client's getting rid of like 10 bags of clothes, guess what? I'm going to pop that in my car and I'm going to drop it off for them. So yeah, I would seriously have to rethink the whole, transportation piece, but this may work better for you again on that consultative side, because if I'm just doing a consultation, I could probably show up with my tablet, a clipboard, and it's something that, I'm going to give them sort of a plan, and I can do all that digital, so I don't have to bring in my tape measure, though you probably need a tape measure if you're working in small spaces. But, I would keep it really minimal as far as what I'm bringing in. And then any product, you're going to have it delivered, right? And you're going to have to, I think the biggest equivalent to that where I live is if I have to travel outside of my area, and I do charge a sort of travel fee if I have to travel. For me, it's after about 30 miles, I start to think about a travel fee. Well, maybe about 35 miles because I moved a little further out from where my clients live, which is not their fault. I decided to go, live in the country. So I don't want to penalize them too much for that, but if it is a commute, I'll try. So I don't know, what it's like in your area, but I would probably work that into my cost, because certainly the income I'm receiving from my organizing clients is going to pay for, I get a paycheck and I'm going to use that to pay for my car insurance and, all the maintenance on my car. So, I think some of that it would just be the cost of doing business. I have a car, you have to pay for, public transportation or Uber or whatever. So I don't know if I'd get too detailed into charging the client for that, but I would definitely make sure you're charging enough that you're able to, pay for the cost. Also look into virtual. With organizing those small spaces or doing consultations, that may be something you can do remotely. And then that would sort of, take care of that issue. Glennon says, great course. Did you get the Essential Forms? I got it 2 days ago yeah. Okay. So that's the Essential Forms course. Everyone's really loved that course. The nice thing about the Essential Forms course is you can use those templates and then put in your logo. I'm giving you guys full permission to steal my stuff. Put in your logo, put in your business name. Your client doesn't have to know that, I designed those forms or any of that. Take it, use it. And then, there's a little bonuses in there that you can use to help with your clients as well. So I did a YouTube video on the forms I use. It's the client intake form, a questionnaire. We want to make that initial phone call or interaction with our client really productive so that it saves us a little time when we actually get in and start organizing. And I know you guys it's got to be really, I remember the first few leads that called me, I had no idea what to say to them. I was totally clueless. And the first few people that called me, who found me online or whatever, I did not book those clients because I really didn't know the right questions to ask and how to sort of engage with them in a professional way. And so the questionnaire in the Essential Forms course is to help you guys have more productive conversations right from the beginning with your clients. So you immediately go into, professional mode, and you are going to appear, of course you are professional, but you're going to appear also to be very professional because you have an intake form, you have an action plan, document that you can, share with them. So you're going to look a little more put together when you go to take that client. And so that will help you do it for sure. Let's see. Do you recommend to have a contract for your clients? If so, what do you recommend to be in it? Yeah, exactly. That, again, the Essential Forms course, you guys, $37. It's the best. It's the best bargain you're going to get today for sure. If you guys get the bundle, it's in there as well. Yes. So there's a couple of things. I like to have a client agreement with my clients right from the beginning, and you'll get a copy of that in the Essential Forms course. And it is sort of a terms of agreement. So you could have your pricing in there. I like to put in that everything is confidential. I like to have them sign off on any photos I may be using anonymously, of course, for my training courses or for Instagram. So you can put your photo release in there. So there's a couple of little things. I've heard people say, you really can put anything you want in there. You can talk about how I've had a few. Now this breaks my heart because I'm such an animal lover, but I have heard people say, I don't, please contain your pets, or keep them separate while they're working. But anything particular that you want to address with your client before you engage in service, you can put that in your terms of agreement. Something that's really important for me is to tell them how long I'm going to be at their house. I do not just come in and work in someone's house for 10, 12, 14 hours. I'm not productive that way. I don't think it makes sense. So I tell them how long our sessions will be. That's in the terms of agreement that I'm going to start them off with. Yes. So great question. Great way to just start them off from the beginning. So the other question, and actually this sort of talks about the forms as well. I do like to have a contract with any employee or contractor that I'm going to be bringing on the job to help me with the job. So this is when I bring in a second or third organizer or fourth organizer to help me do a job. So I am going to have a contract with that person. It usually has some information there about them not soliciting my client, not, oh my gosh, there's this huge bug. Sorry, I live in the country and I like to keep the windows open. I think he went away. So, yeah, my contract agreement, which also I have an example of that in the Essential Forms course, is that I think that's super important. If you're going to be bringing someone in on a job with you, you want to make sure, I make sure they have insurance as well, that they have training, either, from me or from somewhere. And yeah, so definitely have an agreement with people that you're bringing onto the job. When I bring in a closet designer or a hauler or some other company, I have in my client agreement that, the client is going to have a sort of direct relationship with them. And so the liability of that person is going to be covered by their company. So I'm bringing in a referral of a closet installer or hauling company, but I'm not employing that person. So I think I have a note about that in my client agreement. Okay. Hi there. what does that say? Love and sunshine. Cute. You've already discussed this or not, but what advice do you have for getting clients? Yes. Okay. Huge thing, right, guys? I have whole coaching programs dedicated to helping you guys find clients. So, I mean, there's a couple of basics. You want to be a professional, legit business that may be having a website, Instagram, business card, business name. You want to set up that legit business. So it's going to be a little different getting clients as a company versus, initially, very, very initially, you're probably just going to be working with friends and family, to kind of build your portfolio. But then you're going to switch over to having that legit business where you are bringing in clients. So there are lead generators, such as Find My Organizer, Thumbtack. I'm not a huge fan of those. Not of Thumbtack, but sometimes in the beginning, just to generate some business, you may need to do a lead generator. But the big thing that I teach, that I coach, that I recommend is that you are getting referrals in your community. And this is really, really the golden ticket to getting clients. And so that means, one, the clients you have are going to refer you. So there's ways to facilitate that engagement. And you want to get referrals. I mentioned like a closet design company. If I'm working with a closet installer, I'm recommending them. They're recommending me. So we want to find partnerships in your community that will refer business to you. And so that's really lovely, because that way you could be working with a client and someone else could be out there referring business to you. And so I talk a lot about something called niche marketing. And niche marketing just means you figure out sort of an area of focus that you are going to market to. That could be senior downsizing. That could be families of young children. It could be hoarders. Something really specific that you are going to do in your business. And then you want to connect in your community with other people who service that client. So, if you were doing senior downsizing, you want to have a relationship with a senior community, one of their like move-in specialists. So someone is going to move into a senior community and they're going to meet with someone there and they're going to say, wow, I'd love to move into your facility, but I don't know how to downsize my home. Boom. That person should be giving them your contact information. So that's how community referrals work. So that is probably my like secret sauce for getting clients. And it's definitely something that we, make sure you guys are scheduling, your calls with me, either coach calls or your clarity calls. You can schedule that through my website so we can kind of figure out a little bit more of what we can do for you. How do you use, my tablet? I actually during my consultations, I do like to get my clients started on their Trello boards. If you've watched my channel or seen some of my classes, I like to use Trello to kind of plan out my clients' projects. And I'll go ahead and get that Trello board started during a consultation. So I'll pull that up, and you can show organizing products in a Pinterest board that you've put together, or just, sometimes I'll just pull up an Amazon page. Hey, look, this is a photo box. What do you think about getting that? So I will say, you're wondering about the functionalities that make it worth lugging around. I will tell you, I typically bring it to my consultations, but I don't necessarily bring it to every project session. So it's really helpful when I'm starting with a new client and I'm kind of getting the lay of the land and all my product recommendations, and I want to write down my measurements and prioritize things. I do like to have, a notepad, and then I'll kind of transfer it to a Trello board, as I said, preferably while I'm there. So definitely on the consultation, yes to the tablet. on every project session, no. I'm usually going in and working and doing these things. I don't know if you guys can hear. I have a dog scratching. It's so funny because they usually scratch at this door over here, and now somehow they're scratching this door. If you've been on my lives before, I usually do them at 2:00, and I walk my dogs at 3:00. So they're getting a little restless. But we have a few more minutes, and yeah, let me just answer a few more questions here before they tear the doors down here. Hello, beautiful day. I know you. We're working together. Yeah, this forms, the client intake form, phone consultation. Yeah, those first calls with your client can be really awkward. I'm telling you, I remember those first clients who called me. Again, it's so long ago. They probably found me in the yellow pages or something, which was definitely a thing, 20 years ago. And yeah, it was really awkward. They just call and they say, how much do you charge and how long is it going to take? And you're like, I don't know any of that. So we want to turn that conversation around a little bit and start asking questions, and that will help. Hi, Nancy. I don't know if you were on the B. I'm trying to answer questions about the contractors. I know you're really struggling with that, and I hope you kind of figured that out. We're talking about bringing people onto jobs with you and what you should charge for that person. And I'm a big fan of there's sort of two fees. There's the fee you're charging the client, and then the fee that you are paying to your contractors. And honestly, guys, check with the IRS and your accountant, but really your contractors are setting their rates. So I think that's one of the distinctions between a contractor and employee. So that was sort of a discussion we were having earlier about what to pay those contractors that you're bringing on. But ultimately, at the end of the day, they're going to tell you what they're going to charge to come in. And then you need to make sure you cover their fees and that you still are earning a profit on that job, because guess what? As organizers and business owners, we're paying for the marketing, we're paying for all of the overhead and, all that time that we're scheduling with our clients. So if you're bringing in contractors, make sure that is worth your time. Yep. I do recommend BNI. Definitely in the beginning. It's something I did. I eventually had too many clients and not enough time for it. BNI is Business Networking, or Business Network International, and they are all over. Go to BNI. I think it's just BNI.com. Put in your zip code, and it's a group of people that come together to share business referrals. So, hey, you can absolutely see how that would help you get clients, right? And you're also in your community, which is part of that community referral. So I had joined a BNI group years ago with a closet installer in the group. So of course we were able to share a lot of business. And it also, for the introverts out there who I feel your pain. I know what it's like to be an introvert and try to go into these meetings. But BNI also sort of trains you and kind of forces you to do those one-on-one coffee meetings as well. So you really will get very saturated in your community by attending BNI. So yeah, I would check it out. You can always visit BNI. In my area, you can visit for free the first time, and there's several groups so you can kind of see who is out there that you fit with. Okay, Johnny, we're gonna end this on a very complicated question, right? So thank you for being a fan. Do you think there's ever a time where a client just asks too much, and is it okay to say no, or that it's not possible? Yes, of course. I hate to, I don't want to diss on our clients because they're all lovely, wonderful people, of course. But I think what goes hand in hand with, clutter and disorganization and disorder is that they may not understand how much actually fits into a space or how much they can keep and still have functionality and safety in their home. There are certainly individuals with a chronic problem. There are hoarders, but even taking those populations out of it, I've certainly worked in a client's house where the closet is stuffed and then they have clothes all over, the sofa. And they're just saying, okay, make it work. Put all the clothes in the closet. And, there's only so much we can do to maximize space. And so, I try to be really honest with people. And, that may take time for you to get in the habit of if you're a new organizer. But I would absolutely, you're just going to have to really be honest with people. It may be hard in the beginning and, easier. And it's just something you're going to have to kind of stick to your guns, help them maximize space. But I have absolutely told people during even the phone consultations, because they'll say, I'm not going to get rid of anything. I just need you to make it fit. And I tell them right then and there, I'm sorry, I'm not really going to be a good fit for you, because I do think decluttering and elimination is a big part of the organizing process. And so, just explaining to them what is possible and, what you can do, I think is a big part. So there you go, guys. These dogs are about to kind of bust through the door here. Worried. So I'm going to go. Nancy, hop on the website and do, I have to tell you, I have an appointment after this, so I'm not sure, but hop on the website and do the 15-minute call. See if I have something tomorrow. I just know I have an appointment after this, but if you don't see something, I do think tomorrow is a little more open for me, and just send me an email. It's been crazy up to this point, but I think the week is finally settling down a little bit after I get through today, and I hope to have a little easier tomorrow. Okay, you're welcome, guys. Always send your questions on email, info@myspacematters.com, comment on the website, and check me out on Instagram. I've been really quiet over there, but like I said earlier, I am going to start posting some live videos of me clearing out this family estate and, 250-year-old home and 3 generations of stuff. So if you want to kind of follow that personal journey, check me out on Instagram, which is at MySpace Matters on Instagram. Okay, guys, have a productive day, and I hope to see you guys sooner. I don't plan on taking another month off from YouTube, so I'll see you guys in a couple of weeks, either live or with some scripted videos. Bye.